Hello and welcome to the Dimp Digital Fantasy Gaming Draft 2017. We are back for the second year, playing the game that was shamelessly ripped off from Sifted.net. Now, due to how well last year's game was received, there was actually a surge in applications from the Dimp Digital crew to be involved. So we decided to tweak it very slightly to include more members on the team, and after much deliberation and rule setting and changes, we've come up with a structure that will now include 8 members of the crew. We're going to be splitting into 2 teams, and each of the teams will have a team captain. Each team will be responsible for building a 10-game roster. The aim of the game is to build a team of a roster of games that scores well with the media reviews. We'll be using GameRankings.com once again to score the games, but we'll be taking an average of the score across the platforms that it is released on. So there won't be, if there's just one review on Xbox, for example, and it's bad, it will get outweighed by the PS4 if there's like 40 that are good. So it's going to hopefully give a bit of a fairer scoring. But let's introduce the captains, because these are the personalities of the crew. They've been hand-picked to make this an exciting year for the fantasy gaming draft. First of all, you'll know him very well. You've heard him on
returning veteran.
He wouldn't, yeah, and that is Hall, because he won't even let me do the intro. The achievement hunting whore. Welcome to the 2017 draft, Hall. So it's good to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Excellent.
Not defending the title.
No, I am the champion, and I will go down as the only person to win the singular one, because there will never be another draft as far as I'm concerned.
Make sure of that, yeah.
I'll make sure of that, don't worry about that. Our other captain is a very mysterious character. Now, you've probably heard a lot about this guy. Rarely seen him or heard from him. You may have heard him on a few streams now and again, but YouTube-wise, he's been absent. He's been writing an awful lot of stuff on our website. But it's Mr. Destiny himself. It's Sir Dave, also known as Lappers, Lapdog, King Dave, Destiny Dave. So Dave, it's great to
I've got
finally...
many names.
Yeah, we've got many names. I left out all the rude ones that we call you behind your back, but
Cheers,
we'll just get the clean ones in there. But it's great to finally welcome you formally to the audience. How are you feeling?
I've got a touch of the man flu, but other than that, I'm feeling good, feeling strong.
Excellent. So you're going to be it's going to be Hall versus Team Hall versus Team Lappers essentially, and they have come up with names, I'm told, and we'll get to those a bit later on.
There you go.
But,
Dave can go first.
Yeah, we will reveal those shortly. And the reason you two are captains this year, or for this kind of new way of doing it, is because there is tension between you pair. Now, you can play it down all you like. Oh, of course there is. Hall, you was the original Destiny King. He was the man that we would turn to in need of knowledge, lore, tips. And then Sir Dave comes along and slowly kind of wormed his way into the group extremely well. Because he used his articles that he'd written, the good stuff, the only stuff that we do is actually good. The only output.
the real get down to it.
Yeah, like professional stuff that could be used on a proper website one day. But he demonstrated a level of knowledge that seemed superior to you, Hall, in the Destiny field. But it wasn't until we started doing the raids as a Dimp team where everyone noticed the power struggle. So Dave was the designated kind of leader. Hall, though, constantly being an aggravation, interfering, trying to take charge. In short, it got messy, and a new rivalry was born. From your perspective, Sir Dave, does that accurately sort of articulate what has occurred and led to this combination of you going head to head in this championship?
Yeah, sure. It did get messy at one point, didn't it? But the people will never know because Hall's audio was fucked for that bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was not a good evening. An
entire stream of tension lost.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But yeah, there's definitely a simmering rivalry between these two. Hall claimed that he's checked out of Destiny, but you know, it was.
Well, the thing was essentially what it was I was able to regurgitate a lot of Dave information. And the thing was, you guys didn't hear it from Dave initially, so you just kind of presumed that I knew what I was talking about, when in reality, I didn't have a fucking clue. I was just repeating what Dave had told me, like, days beforehand.
So
and then I thought, and it came straight from the horse's mouth, and everyone went, hang on a minute here.
It's the real Destiny.
Yeah, I had to try and put my foot down. I had to make a stamp somehow, so being an aggravation during the raids was all I had.
I'm going to try and explain how this is going to work. It's a little bit, it's complicated to explain, but once we start it, everything will fall into place. But the way it's working is that each of the captains will be responsible for only 4 out of the 10 required games for their team. The other 6 games are made up of the team members' personal picks. The captains have no idea what the other members have picked or what order they've put it in. So not only is this a game of strategy this year, but it's also the trust and knowledge of your Dimp colleagues, which is going to be the most interesting thing, I think. Now, there are 6 members that you can choose for your team. They all have to be taken, so you can't leave someone on the bench if you're thinking of doing that. You've got myself, you've got Logan, you've got Biff, you've got Adkins, you've got Chappers, and finally Mr. Piper. I have everyone's ranked game picks in front of me. When you pick a team member, you'll be given the highest ranked game that is still available. You'll be picking your team in a bit, and the order you pick them will define their priority in case of a clash. So, for example, if Mr. Piper and Chappers both have Grand Theft Auto 3 as their first pick, and Mr.
Entirely
Horse,
possible.
It's well,
Yeah.
you'll see some of the picks later, and you will be thinking, "What is going on here?" But
Yeah.
if Mr. Hall selects Piper, GTA, selects Piper first rather, GTA 3 goes the Hall's team. If Sir Dave then picks Chappers, he can't have GTA 3. He has to take the next game on the list, and we'll work down the list in that way. So the poor guys have actually had to put together a list of about 15 games just to cover all possibilities, and they're only going to use 2 of them. I didn't tell them that. So they're probably pissed off spending hours and hours making 15. Yeah, and they're not going to be used. Let's get started then. So off air, we conducted a coin toss, and the winner of the coin toss could choose whether they wanted the first captain game pick, so your first sort of game pick, or the first team member pick. So Dave, you won the toss and decided.
I did.
You did. You got heads. Didn't go for the tails, never fails, which is what Hall would have picked had he got in there in time. But you went for heads. It come out heads, and you decided you wanted the first team member pick, which also ensures that the person.
Controversial.
Slight misunderstanding of the rules, but I stuck with it.
Yeah, you've actually profited because that person will get top priority in the 2 rounds that will take place to fill out the rosters. So there is an advantage to doing that. But Hall,
well, that was my theory. Build a strong team, and the one-off best game won't matter so much. That was my plan.
I would counter that and say that no one's any good at this, so you can't build
best
teams.
That is the
I think that's the mistake you've made there.
I mean, we are playing with the likes of Biff and Paper.
And, look, and the mind games have started already. He's trying to put you off those. This is what Hall does.
He's right in there immediately. I know exactly what I'm doing. I've got my strategy written down. I'm ready to go.
Exactly. So Hall, you were left to decide what your top game pick would be. For losing the toss, you got given that kind of privilege. It's an unchallenged game, so you get to decide the first game of 2017. Now, we made an agreement that obviously no games that have come out in January you can pick, so the likes of Resident Evil, Gravity Rush 2 off the menu because they're already out. But can you tell the audience what your number 1 pick for your game roster is, Mr. Hall?
Right, I think we all know that the top 3 games are going to be the top 3 games, and it's a question of which one of the top 3 games you want. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to stay true to the roots and sting in with Nintendo's Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Interesting, because last year you went for a Nintendo heavy roster and didn't pay off.
No, blew it. They fucked it for me. But but I'm hoping that looking at Zelda games of the past and trends that are set by Zelda games, I've got to have faith this year.
Yeah. To be fair, Zelda, it's different from a Star Fox game. It's been a while since a Zelda, but they're always pretty good. They always score quite highly. So Dave, you've got obviously your first pick, and you can't have Zelda. So what's your first game pick going to be?
So I've gone Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
There's a real risk that the hype train will derail and this will be a massive flop, but the first was well received. It's Rockstar. They never make a bad game, surely.
I would love to be confident. My problem with this pick, I don't know why I'm interjecting. I'm part of the game, but as playing host as well.
I can do what I want!
I can do as I like, but my problem with this is that Rockstar are not the best at keeping to schedule. I think we've seen Grand Theft Auto 5 suffer a few delays, or one delay that knocked it out a few months. Grand Theft Auto 4 also had that, as did San Andreas. Red Dead Redemption, the original, was a bit of a nightmare. They struggled to get that out. Any worries that this doesn't make the kind of... They've put down fall 2017. Are you concerned that that gets pushed out to next year? Because that will score you a big fat 0 if that's the case.
Well, I wasn't worried about 10 minutes ago, was I?
Well,
Really,
Someone's done more research than me.
I'm sowing the mind games in. I've paid apps off beforehand, mate, to sting you with this.
Yeah, no, I mean that was my worry, and we'll obviously go through the guys' lists on there, and
That'll be fine.
That's one of my faults of Red Dead. As soon as you've said that, I thought, well, there's a chance of that because it's the back end of this year.
No, it'll be fine.
Well, I hope so because I want to play it. Hall doesn't now. Hall doesn't want anyone to play that in 2017.
Unless you're going to slate it.
Well, I don't think your reviews have any impact on GameRankings.com, thankfully. Not yet, anyway. We'll be moving up to that sort of stage soon. But let's do our team member picks so we can start filling out these rosters. So, Dave, you won the toss. This is what you chose to go first with. Who is going to be your first team member?
Well, I'm going to go for reigning champion, Apps.
You've gone for me. To be fair, had it not been me, any of you, it being number one, I would have...
Sudden disconnect from the call.
I would have been going, what are you doing? Because
turn the table over and walk out.
It's obvious pedigree there, isn't there? I'm not going to be silly. I'm going to pick the right games. So let's move on. Speaking of which, what did I pick? We've said the big three. Now, if you're referring to the big three, Hall was referring to Legend of Zelda, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Mass Effect Andromeda. And Mr. Lapper, you've got two out of the big three because I've got Mass Effect Andromeda as my top pick. So that will be...
That was the strategy.
Yep. So you've done well out of that, I feel. That is a good effort on your behalf. Mr. Hall, you now have got a choice here to make. You've got 5 tramps left. Obviously, none of them have the pedigree that I have. So what is next for you? Who is going to be your first team member? This is basically you saying this is the strongest person you think's left. Now that the big gun's gone.
It's tough here because there is one of 3 people that any one of the... There's 2 that I want to avoid. I think it's the fairest way of saying it.
Right.
I am going to plumb for Adkins.
Adkins, yeah. I mean, that is a strong...
Sensible human.
Yeah, second on my list. I'd have had him.
Knows his shit, knows his computer games.
Yep, he certainly does.
Hoping that he's done his research prior to this. Would have made more of an effort, I think, than the other 5 people.
Yeah, he did take a while to do this. So he was taking a long time to do it. He had a 15 roster, but he was struggling to rank them. And,
right.
His first pick was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, so he was on the Nintendo train.
There you go. He's in the team with me then. That's fine.
Can't have that, obviously. So that's gone. No. Number 2, though.
Oh God! Did he not put Red Dead or Andromeda?
No, he did not. Number 2. So straight at number 2. So yeah, they would have to skip one. His number 2 pick was Cuphead.
What?
Now.
What? Fuck's sake, Adkins.
Now. I see where he's coming from because it had a lot of good hype coming out of maybe the last E3 or the E3 before that, but we haven't seen much since then. It's
what even in the fucking hell is it?
It's a 2D. It started off as a 2D like boss rush game. Yeah, little indie game. It's set in like a 30s animation art style. It looks like a cartoon. It looks really good and it had really positive reception, but they said it was coming out last year. It got moved out. They said it's coming this year. It's an indie game. If someone goes off sick, if someone's wife gets pregnant, that can put things back. Like that is a bit of a risk to me. I have no doubts that when it comes out, it will score highly though. I think that'll be a critical darling. But whether it makes it, I don't know. I can't.
That has stunned me.
Are you not happy with that?
I'm not.
No?
There's at least, let me put it this, I've got 15 games ahead of that on my list, put it that way. so
is at least 16 or lower.
I've never heard of it, so
yeah.
I've had a little Google of that and apparently it won IGN Best Xbox One Game at E3 in 2015.
Yeah, they've really gone and changed it because it started out as a boss rush game. They then changed it to fully fledged levels where it's not just rush to the boss. There's it's very difficult as well.
This is the key: faith in the team. I've got faith in Adkins. I've got faith in his decision.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, if it comes out, I've got no doubts it'll score highly. But with any indie game, you're always running the risk that it doesn't, drop, which is going to be a bit of a stinger. Second pick, Mr. Lappers. Who's going to be second in your team?
Well, I'm going to go for your man Krog.
Oh dear.
Ooh,
The man that came last.
Oh God.
So he finished third out of 3 last
I've
year.
got faith in him.
To be
But he
fair
had some
to him,
unlucky picks, didn't he? He had some.
well, he picked
No,
Mass
he
Effect,
picked Andromeda.
which weren't coming out in a month of Sundays that year. I think in this case he's tried to mitigate that because his first pick was Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that was always going to be on his radar. He loved the first one. There's a little bit of passion there. But what he's done next ensures that you won't get a blank because he's gone for FIFA 18.
Right.
So it will score because it won't. It won't. The only thing that concerns me about that is they've said FIFA's coming to the Switch. If there is a Switch version of FIFA 18 and it scores poorly, that could drag it down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, it's coming out. You won't get a blank, but
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably get a fairly solid score. It's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but yeah, I'm all right with that.
Not displeased. You think that's acceptable for him to do that?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
Mr. Hall, I don't think you would have wanted that in your team, but you get a chance to rectify that. Who is going to be your number 2 pick?
Well, I'll take the last of the sensibles and take Mr. Chaplin.
Oh God, Mr. Chaplin installed.
Yep.
That was always going to happen. He's always been Team Hall from day one, and I think you'll be pleased with that.
I've got to stick with the. So I think so far, to be fair, I'm pleased. Oh yeah, I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with Adkins and Chaplin. I've got faith in those two and their selection skills. So
yeah,
be interesting to see what he's chosen.
Fair enough. He went for Mass Effect Andromeda as number 1.
Yeah.
Can't have that. And then number 2.
Oh God, another one that hasn't picked Red Dead or Zelda.
No, he hasn't.
Right. Okay.
He's gone for a game that I can't pronounce and I've never heard of. It's spelled Pyre.
Oh, Pyre.
Pyre.
Yeah, I saw that. This is on my radar.
It's on your radar. Pyre. Right, we'll stick with that. I was going to go Prior. I couldn't do it.
Pyre, yeah?
Pyre.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, I'm not displeased with that at all. That's another sort of single player RPG that's coming out. 2017 release date.
Yeah.
I'm not displeased. I quite like that. Solid. Not one again that I had on my list, if I'm honest, but it was on the radar. I knew of it at least, which is one up on fucking Cuphead. Small wins, boys.
Small wins indeed. Your final team pick, Mr. Sir Dave.
We're really at the dregs now.
Well, this is a tricky one for me because I don't know too much about Biff.
No.
So I'm gonna stick with faithful old paper.
Ooh. Paper installed. Interesting.
See what he's got. I know he had a couple of sort of indie games or lesser known games on his list for 2016.
I'm gonna go out.
Didn't really come to fruition, but hopefully he's picked something good.
I'll let you know here, Dave. You have absolutely made the wrong choice there.
Oh dear.
I'm going. James's best game ever is Guild Wars 2, which is not as good as Guild Wars 1. So confidence is key, but I have none in James, so I'm more than happy with that.
No. His first pick was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Solid choice.
Second pick was Legend of Zelda.
Perfect.
Third pick, Mass Effect.
Well,
so
yeah,
first person to get the top 3 correct, other than yourself, I presume, Apps.
You'll find out when we get to round 2 about what goes on there.
I've got confidence.
But yeah, so he was on the right tracks, and in the end, we go down to his 4th pick, which is his next available one. He has gone for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. So Mario Kart 8 itself scored very well. Whether people or the reviewers will be pissed off that they're being made to pay £45 for a port, who knows? But you've got a Nintendo game there. You've got a Switch title that's coming sort of springtime. What's your feeling on that? There's a bit of a noise coming from both of you there that felt that was a little bit. Ugh.
I'm happy with that. That'd be a solid choice. As you say, it depends on how well it reviews as a sort of almost re-release of an existing game with some bolt-ons, but we'll see.
Exactly.
Not gonna lie, I'm disappointed that Paper's done so well there.
Yeah, that is. I mean, if you look at his first 3, that's solid. He's not done anything wrong. He's stuck with he's
that
done
is
well.
good picking.
He's picked the first three that most other people you'd think would, and then he's gone for Mario Kart, which is, there's some logic in. Mr. Mark Smith Biff, his number one pick is a fresh one. So it's not one of the top three. It's not something that we've seen before.
Oh my god.
He's been a little bit naughty with it, but I think it's not naughty because we never said this wasn't allowed. But his pick, and the one that you'll be going on your team hall, is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Oh, I had that high up my list as well. I wasn't sure if you were allowed it, but
so did I.
I think you've been given a good one there. I think he's done well. That's his first pick, so he loves Naughty Dog, and that shows it there. He's absolutely gone for that.
Yeah, that's not a terrible pick.
No, I mean they don't tend to release Toilet. It will probably be a few. I think what will happen is it'll be too short for people. It won't get the nines.
It's a confirmed standalone title, is it?
100%. 100%. Well, you can, if you've got the season, if you've bought one of the passes, you'll get it with Uncharted 4 as a DLC, but they will be releasing it as retail on its own as well. So if you haven't got Uncharted 4, you don't have to have it. So it's a bit of a weird one. It's kind of one of those things that's grown, it seems, in time they were expecting. But let's go through the round one picks then. So after round one, Hall, you've got Legend of Zelda, you've got Cuphead. What's that game called again? Pyre. And Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Lapdog, you've got Red Dead Redemption 2, Mass Effect Andromeda, FIFA 18, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Looking over at the fence, Laps, are you more pleased or less pleased than what you've got?
I think I've got a strong lineup.
Stronger than Hall's?
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit. I think Hall disagrees with you, don't you? Hall doesn't want to comment.
I'm not. I look through the thought. Put it this way: all of the games that are on Lapper's side were on my 15 games.
Right.
One of the games on my side was on mine, and that was my pick. So,
well, that's not a bad thing. You've got some variety there at least.
That's fine because it means that I should have more left at the end of my 15 games.
Sure, yeah. Deary me. Right.
Confidence in the team is key.
Let's go on to round two. So we reset. We don't reset, we go back to me. So I was the first priority. We'll work through my list, my first available game on there. So this was actually my third pick. I went for Mass Effect, went for Zelda. My third pick on this list is Persona 5.
Interesting.
Stunned silence from Lappers. Not pleased with what his top pick's done.
Not aware of it. Persona 5, you say?
Yeah. You look at Persona...
Everyone frantically Googles.
Yeah. If you have a look at Persona 4's scores, give me the 90s. Give me another 90.
Solid.
Thank you. Mass Effect and Persona. Give me the 90s. That's what I was thinking with that one.
I'll take it.
Persona 5 coming out on the PlayStation 3 seemingly as well, though.
Yeah, it is on the PS3 as well.
Will that hurt or help the reviews? That's what they're asking.
No one's playing it on PS3.
Yeah, but it'll still get reviewed, won't it?
Might do. If one person gives it a 10 though, and that's it, then
one player's probably gagging for games, aren't they? They'd love it.
Yeah,
like an enthusiast PS3 site, they can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's like their newest game.
Yeah,
the only new game next year.
That is absolutely what they're after. So you got Persona 5.
Perfect.
That'll score well. It's not a very well-known title in these Western parts, but that'll score well.
Looks solid.
Mr. Hall. We then move on to Adkins. Adkins' third pick, so after Zelda, after Cuphead, is NBA 2K18.
Well, that'll keep Chaplin happy.
Yep. Chaplin would have no doubt gone for that if he'd had the chance. So it scores pretty well, these games, so I can see why he's done that. High, though, isn't it, for a sports game to hit number 3?
Yeah, I mean, I did toy with the idea of having FIFA on the list and potentially Madden, and then thought, bit of a cop out if you ask me. But here we are with NBA 2K18 and FIFA 18 on the list, so we'll wait and see. But it reviews well. Again, it'll be another one that will just get a solid score. I'm not overly displeased with that by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, what you want to really avoid is getting a 0. Because that's what cost Logan last time. Had he not got that, he would have been up there fighting. Getting the 0 is basically a death knell in this game. If you get a 0, you're in trouble. And we know that NBA 2K18 is going to come out. You could almost bet your house on it.
It's a banker, yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Lappers, you've got Logan next on your list.
Mm-hmm.
He has gone for the yet untitled next Call of Duty game.
Right.
So again, it's a banker.
Yeah.
On a bit of a downward spiral, but you know you'll get a score out of it, I guess. You don't seem happy. Again, there's a lot of stunned silences.
2017.
Oh no, there's
Call
not.
of Duty.
Not yet. You have to wait till March to see what that is. But that's it. Call of Duty, whatever it's called, you'll have it on stable.
Logan has gone for the absolutely avoiding the bagel approach this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he didn't want to get his
FIFA 18 and COD.
Yeah, he's lapsed, isn't he? Going back into his old ways. FIFA and COD, that's all he used to play, and now he's got him on his very high up on his picks. People are questioning him. Hall, we now move on to Chappers for you.
Yep.
So he had Mass Effect, Pyre. He went for Legend of Zelda at number 3. Didn't get that. Right. So we've got his 4th pick, which is Prey. Recently got a release date. So again, that will be coming. I think it's in May. It's been confirmed, the release date on that. I remember Redkins.
It is May has been confirmed for that. That was on my list. Yeah, pleased with that.
That's one that I'm personally looking forward to.
Yeah, I figured that would probably be on your list somewhere. I'm a little bit surprised to hear Persona 5 over Prey as your next pick. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's a good pick.
I deal in certainties, mate. Persona 5 is getting the 90s. Prey is an unknown quantity. Should do well, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Getting some Bioshock vibes off that. So I'm really looking forward to playing that myself. And, hopefully it is a good game when it comes out. Your final man in the team, Mr. Lappers, is Paper.
Trusty old Paper.
Yep, so we move down straight to his 4th choice. He's had nothing else stung out of it. He's gone for Splatoon 2, the real haul of this year. Probably score well, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Unless people are fed up, going, oh, Switch, this is like a port, it's not a fully fledged sequel. 6 out of 10. Could happen.
No, they're going to love it.
Splatoon 1 came in solid with like an 81.5, I think it finished at, so...
Yeah.
It's a good pick. Irritatingly good pick.
Piper's done well there for being I assume he was one of the people you wanted to avoid because you didn't pick him.
He was bottom of my list. I'm sorry, James. You've done well, but I had zero faith in your ability.
I always had confidence in the boy.
But you have picked up your train buddy Biff.
I have.
So to fill in the final team member pick, bringing us to 7 games each, Mr. Biff has given you Tekken 7.
Okay.
Not a disaster.
No, I actually had that down as one of the ones that I thought Adkins might pick.
Yeah.
So again, that's one that I'm certainly not displeased with.
No.
I thought that was going to be on the radar. Tekken games generally do okay.
Yeah.
As long as they don't sort of change the formula too much, I can't see that being a bad choice by any stretch of the imagination.
No, so that's in your team. So that's it. The team picks are locked in, which just leaves us for you to pick your final 3 games going in at 8, 9 and 10. But let's just do a quick rundown of what you've got. Mr. Lapdog, you've got Red Dead Redemption 2, Mass Effect Andromeda, FIFA 18, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Persona 5, an unnamed Call of Duty game, and Splatoon 2. Mr. Paul has got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Cuphead, Pyre, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, NBA 2K18, Prey, and Tekken 7. So I think there's some solid picks in there. And hopefully they will run. Hopefully no one's completely shamed you. Which is, I don't think either of you feel that cheated by what you've been given.
I feel like everything on there, unlike last year, I feel like everything on there has got a good chance of coming out this year as well.
Sure.
Last year, Andromeda wasn't happening. Me and you, I felt both knew that, and Logan took a punt with it and was a bit unlucky, to be honest, because he actually picked 4 very good games otherwise. But when you look down that list, I think everything on there, I think will come out, and there's certainly none on there that are absolutely horror show picks that I was anticipating. So fair play to the boys there. You've all done well, and you've proved me wrong in a lot of cases. Like I say, Paper. Yeah. Impressed with that, mate.
It's just lucky that it's been quite varied. Even no one's gone past their 5th pick. Yeah. But I was expecting us to work down because people will be choosing the same games, but there's a lot of variety in there in general. So a lot of people didn't have to go down to some of the garbage they've picked essentially, which is always good. Now, to finish this off, your final 3 games, we're going to have to do round picking. So, Mr. Hall, your 8th game out of your 10-game roster. Give it to us.
Pressure's on here.
Mm-hmm.
So pressure is on to not make a mess of this. And I am going to put one up on the board relatively soon into the year. And I'm going to plumb for Halo Wars 2.
It was always going to appear, and it's coming. People are raving about it, loving it, but there's always a lot of rave in the previews.
First one reviewed, a solid 82.
Yeah.
And this one, by all accounts, people are hailing as being better.
Yeah.
I've got high hopes. I think it's gonna, and I know it's coming next month. It's a February release.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. It's good to get that opening figure on the board.
Excellent. Mr. Lapdog, what is going to be your 8th game?
I'm also going to get one coming out next month. Get an early number in the bag. I'm going to go for Honor.
For Honor.
It's been quite well received on Twitch. Lots of people streaming it. I think it could be quite a good score.
You've had access to the beta, haven't you, and played it a little bit?
I played it.
Has that helped?
Well, this weekend I've only played it for about half an hour because I've been poorly. But I played the alpha. Really enjoyed it. Watched a few streams. Looks like a good game. Should get a solid score.
Yeah, it's coming out as well. So again, that sometimes can override the risk of going for like a glory day back end of 2017. Just get the marks on the board and deal with what happens later. Hall, your 9th pick, please.
Okay, I had For Honor down as my next pick.
Ooh.
So I was torn between Halo Wars 2 and For Honor, and I wish I'd gone for Honor because I don't think Dave would have picked Halo Wars 2 next.
Yeah, that's that is part of the strategy, isn't it?
It is. I'm going to take Horizon Zero Dawn.
Sony exclusive.
Maybe a risk because we don't really know much about what to expect from it. It's not got any predecessors as such.
No. The trouble I had with this is why it wasn't in the top sort of 5 for my one, was I just don't have confidence in Guerrilla Games doing an open world.
Yeah.
They've never done it before. However, everyone is getting, I say this, everyone's getting hyped up for it. We've seen the hype teams crash and burn last year like nothing we've ever seen before with No Man's Sky. I hope it's a good game because it's a really interesting take on what is quite a saturated kind of genre. It looks
fantastic, yeah, it really does. So I've got high hopes for it, but it could be a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, with any open world game, it needs to have variety as well as substance, and hopefully the guys at Guerrilla can deliver that. Lapdog, your 9th pick, please.
I'm going to go for South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, solid pick. First one reviewed pretty well. It's coming out this year. It had a little bit of a delay. It was meant to come out last year, so you could say, well, they're polishing that up. That's a good pick to come in at 9. I think 9th is a good time to get that because it could have been earlier by anyone, that one especially. Mr. Hall, your final pick to round out your 10-game roster.
Yeah, that is aggravating because I've got 3 games at the number 10 spot, and that was one of them that I was leaning towards.
Yeah.
So really now it's just a 50-50 between the other 2, and how much of a risk do I want to take? So I'm going to go a little bit out there.
Oh no, I think I know what it is.
And I'm going to go for Ukulele.
Oh, I was not expecting that. A lot of the guys from Rare doing that now. She's Rare's. But yeah, that is I think that'll do well.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, I think it will. But I've been burnt by things like this before. And I think it could be a little bit of a risk. But I think it's less of a risk than my other pick.
Sure.
Which I won't reveal just yet. Just in case.
Just in case. I had a look at Ukulele and I binned it from my list completely.
Ooh, saying it's shit.
Wow, I just wasn't sure how well it would score. That's all. Might be quite a decent game, but
98. That's what they're saying.
Numbers.
That's what I heard.
What I will say is it's like a throwback for like a platform, like a free, and I think that people are yearning for that now. I think it's coming at the right time. People have forgotten how good those games can be because all we've had is open world syndrome and whatnot.
Well, Ratchet and Clank did good, didn't it? Exactly, that was well received. So
yeah, I think that. And I said that a lot of the guys at Rare are actually over there doing their own thing, doing Ukulele. So it's got good pedigree in that sense. Hopefully,
I've got high hopes for it.
Yeah, excellent. Lapdog, your final game to round out your 10-game roster for your team.
Well, I'm going to take a bit of a risk here. I'm going to go for another as yet untitled game. It's currently being referred to as That Next Game, but it's basically the next game from That Game Company, who did Journey, Abzu, Flower, and Flow.
Right.
So That Next Game.
So the guys that did all the good stuff. When is that due to come out?
It's due to come. It is due 2017. They've not released a whole lot about it, but I think that studio has produced some quality games, and I think this one will come out and get quite a good reception, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's your 10-game list. So Hall, you've got Zelda, Cuphead, Pyre, Uncharted Lost Legacy, NBA 2K18, Prey, Tekken 7, Halo Wars 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Yooka-Laylee. Lapdog, you got Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect Andromeda, FIFA 18, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Persona 5, Call of Duty, Splatoon 2, For Honor, South Park, The Fractured Butthole, and then That Next Game. No, the only red flags I've got really, and unfortunately, Lappers,
they're all on my camp.
Yeah, it is Red Dead, and it is That Next Game. I think they are some ginormous. I don't think. Well, look, Red Dead could easily get delayed. That Next Game could easily get delayed, and those two score a 0. Hall could have a team of Cupheads and win. He wouldn't be touched.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Any concerns over that?
No. Nah.
Because not just that, because you are responsible for me, Logan, and Piper. Our reputation's on the line here. The same as Hall's responsible for Adkins, Chappers, and Biff. We're not going to be happy if we lose.
No, true, but I think a lot of people had Red Dead, so I don't see that as too big a risk. That was on a lot of people's lists.
I will disclose it was not even on my list. It was not even on my list. I
may live to regret that.
Well, mate, you got Mass Effect and Persona out of me. I think you won't get much better than that. I think what's interesting is that no roster has got Super Mario Odyssey. I thought someone would take a punt on that. I know it's scheduled in for later in the year, but it's going to score well.
It's a risky Q4, isn't it? That's the problem.
It's the panic, isn't it? The Q4 panic, mate.
You don't think you don't think it'll come out? Presumably, I guess that's why you both not opted in for it.
I kind of thought it may well come out, but let's say it comes out and it scores a 95%.
Yeah.
I can take the punt on that, or I can take an absolute safe 80% banker. Sure. And the thing is, if that doesn't come out, that's it. It's pretty much over.
Yeah.
We know how important it is to make sure you've got 10 scoring games. And I was torn because I was looking at Sea of Thieves as well.
Yeah. But
which was another one, but I didn't know how that would review. So there was a few on the radar that I had, and Super Mario Odyssey was one of them. I mean, I don't know what else you had on your list, Dave, that was kind of you were toying with. There was any other big ones that you were a bit hesitant on?
Well, there was Destiny 2, of course. I couldn't leave that one off, but I did leave it off because I wasn't sure. I thought it'll definitely come out, I think, but I'm not sure it will score. Up in the 80s or 90s.
It seems like it's hipster to hate on Destiny nowadays.
Yeah. And another one I thought would be quite a good bank would be Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale game, because they took it well. I had that on the list, but I put my faith in That Game Company.
Yeah, interesting. Well, look, that's the end of it. That's the end of what could have been a very painful session. We have 10 games. We have 2 teams. We've got Lappers, myself, Logan, and Piper versus Adkins, Chappers, Biff, and Team Captain Hall. I did ask you if you could go away and come up with a team name for your group. Have you both gone away and done this, or do we just shut down an anticlimax for people?
If Hall's got one, I've got one, but I did use the power of a Google team name generator to come up with it.
We have to do it now.
Mine is based purely around that which I love.
Yeah.
And I love achievements. And what you will notice is the 4 people that I've chosen I've picked by highest gamer score available. be that coincidence or intentional, I will let you decide. So we will be Team Achievement.
team achievement. Excellent. So, Dave?
Well, through the power of a name generator, this one came up and it was too good not to use. The Marvellous Thunder Buzzards. Can't pass up a team name like that, can you?
I've never been so ashamed to be part of a team called that. That is
Marvellous Thunder Buzzards.
That is excellent. Well done, Google. Well done. That is superb. Well, it's not wasting anyone's time anymore. That is our 2017 fantasy game draft done. We will check in, I guess, as time goes on, and do a couple of these perhaps every quarter, and just do a catch up of what's come out, what hasn't come out, anything been delayed, that sort of thing, and see how the teams are getting on. But thanks very much for joining me, gents, and we'll speak again soon.
Cheers.
Yep.